Welcome to the Shift Your Story, Change Your Life podcast. I'm Allie Rose, certified clinical hypnotherapist and subconscious success coach. I help my clients stop self-sabotage and feel safe to create more wealth, worth, and wellness from within. If you find yourself stuck repeating the same unhelpful patterns in your life, health, business, or relationships, even after all the mindset work, this podcast is for you. Each week, you'll hear deep dives into the hidden beliefs shaping your life and live hypnocoaching sessions where someone shifts a block in real time. Because willpower isn't the problem, your subconscious story is. And when you shift it at the root, everything else begins to change. So let's dive in. Hello. Welcome back to the Shift Your Story, Change Your Life podcast. Before we dive into today's hypnocoaching session, I want to share something important with you. In this episode, you'll hear small pieces of a conversation about Nicki's biological mother and her history with schizophrenia. And since it comes up briefly in the session, I want to clarify something up front. Hypnosis is a powerful tool, but it isn't for everyone. It should not be used by anyone who has been diagnosed with or is currently struggling with epilepsy, any type of seizure disorder, dementia, personality disorders such as borderline personality, schizophrenia, hallucinations, delusions, or any form of psychoses. If you ever choose to explore hypnotherapy with me or with anyone else, please make sure it's the right fit for you. Now, Nicki and I talked more extensively about her history off the recording just to make sure she was still a good fit for the session, because my priority is always safety before moving into any sort of hypnosis work. So, in today's session with Nicki, you will hear how a lifelong pattern of overexplaining traces all the way back to childhood moments when emotional instability made her feel responsible for keeping the peace. What began as protection eventually became exhaustion. And in this episode, you'll hear how emotional chaos teaches the nervous system to overexplain, why the need to justify yourself is often survival, not insecurity, and the exact childhood moment that shaped this pattern in Nicki's life. As you listen, I want to invite you to consider, where are you still managing other people's emotions to feel safe? What part of you believes you must defend or explain yourself to be loved? And how might your life feel different if you didn't need to explain yourself to feel secure? All right, let's dive in. Welcome to the podcast, Nicki. I'm so happy that you're here. Tell me a little bit more about this need you have to over-explain yourself.
I guess it stems from a need for validation and approval. And also, it probably stems from the fact that my mom, or at least the mom that brought me up, was quite emotional. So I felt I always had to explain myself and try to get her to understand why I was doing something or not doing something. And I unfortunately brought that with me into adulthood. So I'm often reading my messages when I'm texting someone and I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing it again. I'm over explaining myself. I'm giving way more information than is necessary. So in text messages, I'm now more aware of what I'm doing and I'm trying not to do it, but still it's very deep rooted. And sometimes I still can't help myself and I send like 10 messages and people are like, oh, you're so intense. And yeah, it doesn't end well.
Yeah. So I hear a little bit about how it's impacting you. I hear a little bit about how it's impacting your relationships. How else do you think it's impacting your life?
Well, if I do over explain myself, my expectation is that people will understand me better and will be able to relate to me better. So because I have this expectation, then I'm often annoyed when my expectation doesn't come true and reality is far from what I expected to happen.
Mhm.
So then that usually ends in fights, and that's not good.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Okay. And so you mentioned at the beginning that you said your mom that brought you up. So were you adopted? Tell me a little bit more about that.
So I was born 6 weeks premature, and my birth mom was schizophrenic. So there's like what they call a area nurse in the Netherlands. That's the thing of the past. Nowadays, we don't have that anymore. But apparently, back in those days, you had an area nurse that would come around to elderly people and people that had some medical issues. So the area nurse came around just for checkup and then found me in the bathroom because my mom thought she had to go to the bathroom, but instead I came out. So she grabbed me from the bathroom and then phoned for an ambulance. And then my mom and I went to the hospital. I stayed in an incubator for 6 weeks. And then my grandparents decided that it would be better if I went to an orphanage. So they locked my mom away involuntarily in a mental hospital and they put me in an orphanage where I stayed until I was almost a year old. And then the parents that raised me, the mom, she had a connection with the orphanage. So basically, the staff at the orphanage were like, okay, so here is this room with 15 babies, newborn to up to 1 year. So just pick out whichever you like best. So then she was like, yeah, that one over there. And the orphanage was like, okay, so we see you have three biological children that are still alive. So that makes us feel like you could raise one more. So here you go. Good
Mm.
luck and enjoy.
Right.
We'll come round once more just to see if she's still alive. And if that's the case, then we'll believe that you can handle it from here.
Mhm. Wow. Yeah. Okay. How was that for you? Like, what was your relationship like with your mom and your adoptive dad?
Well, my adoptive mom, she was basically a narcissist. And in those days, she had all these women's magazines where there would be a mom and a girl, and they would both be dressed the same. And my mom always had these pictures like, oh, I want that. I want a cute little daughter, and we can have matching outfits, and everyone will think we're so cute. So, up until age 6, she adored me and she put me in wooden shoes. So when I went running down the street, you would hear the click, clack, click, 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 clack of my shoes. And then people would be like, what's that sound? And then they would see me and like, oh, a cute blonde girl. And like, oh, who's her mom? And my mom would be like, oh, she's mine. She's mine. But then when I turned 6, I was too big to sit on her lap, and she kind of grew disinterested in me.
Mhm.
And my adoptive father, when I was 3, 4 years old, he was working irregular hours. So he would have time during the day, and sometimes he would go out and do things with me. And after I had my swimming lessons, he would take me swimming. But then I think he noticed that my mom didn't really like the fact that we were hanging out a lot, and she seemed to be getting jealous. So then he was like, okay, maybe I should stop doing this because I don't want to antagonize my wife. So then he withdrew altogether. And when I wanted attention from him or cuddles or anything, he would get angry and be like, "Just go to your mother, leave me alone." So, yeah, so my mom lost interest when I wasn't cute enough anymore, and my dad lost interest because he didn't want to upset my mom. So basically, I was invisible.
Yeah, yeah. That's really difficult, right? To feel like you are invisible as a child, right?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with 3 older brothers, and one night at dinner, I can still remember that everyone was screaming at the dinner table, and I wanted to tell everyone my story, like what happened to me that day, but no one would ever listen. So I snuck out and went to the neighbors. And then after being there for like half an hour, 45 minutes, the neighbor called my mom and said, "In case you're missing your daughter, she's with us." And then my mom was like, "Oh, okay." I hadn't even noticed that she was gone. So that was quite upsetting to me. Like, okay, I basically ran away from home and no one noticed. So
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's hard. That's hurtful, right? Yeah, yeah. Well, I appreciate you sharing that with me. Is there anything else that you feel would be important for me to know before we do the hypnosis?
Well, yes, there were some pivotal moments in my life. Like during high school, I was teased quite a lot.
Mhm.
And one boy told me, "Oh, you're never going to get a boyfriend. No one's going to like you. And look at all the class. Everyone is dating except you because who would ever like to be with you? And you will just end up alone." And then when I was in college, there was another guy who said something similar, who said, like, "Oh, you're not girlfriend material.
Mm,
I would definitely have sex with you, but I would never have you as a girlfriend."
that's really heavy
Uh,
that you went through
so
that.
I guess that kind of enforced that feeling that I need to over explain myself and to make myself feel heard and to make me feel understood in order to have a normal relationship with people.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. So do you have any concerns about our process that we're gonna go into today?
No, not really. I mean, I'm always very open minded and I'm always willing to try new things. And I mean, even if benefit is not 100% what you were expecting or goes different than what you wanted,
Mhm.
you can still learn something from it and you might still have some positive impact from what you've experienced. So I'm always open and willing to try new things.
Okay. All right, wonderful. All right. Are you ready to dive in?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So I want you to go ahead and just take a deep breath in. And now I want you to just go ahead and look up as high as you possibly can, as if you were trying to look into your own eyebrows, keeping your eyes glued to a real or imagined spot overhead. Just breathe in and out. Take another deep breath. Breathe in and out. And each time you blink, that's hypnosis coming upon you. Just one final time, take another deep breath in. And as you exhale, just close your eyelids right down, all the way down. So just one more time, go deeper, drift deeper, sink deeper, at least 100 times deeper. That's perfect, Nikki. You are responding perfectly exactly as I knew you would, because I already know that you are incredibly open, receptive, suggestible, and your mind is incredibly powerful. So now we're going to explore this part of you that feels the need to over explain. So I want you to go ahead and take a deep breath in. And I want you to just imagine that you've gone inside yourself. You've turned your eyes inward. You're still Nikki, but you're able to find this part of you that feels the need to over explain. So go ahead and scan your body. And I want you to just notice, where do you carry this part of you that feels the need to over explain? Can you sense anything in your body where you hold it?
Yeah, in my stomach.
Okay. And I want you to just imagine for a moment that you're able to pull this part of you that feels the need to over explain out of your stomach. I want you to tell me, what does this part of you look like? Does it have a color, texture, shape, or size?
Yes,
What does it look like?
it's black and cold,
Okay.
kind of a jello-like.
Okay. How do you feel about this part of you? What emotions come up for you when you think about this part of you that feels the need to over explain?
Anxious.
And you feel anxious because?
Mm. So I feel I need to do this. That if I don't do it, something terrible might happen.
Mm, okay. All right. I want you to go ahead and take a deep breath in. And just continue to imagine that part of you. It's sitting right in front of you or standing right in front of you, however you want to imagine it. And I want you to ask this part of you, what is your role in my life? Why are you here?
To protect me,
Okay. And I want you to ask it, why do you need to protect me?
I am the only one.
Now I want you to ask it, how are you protecting me?
But if I fall apart, there is no one there to put the pieces back together again.
And that's what it's doing.
Well, it's trying to prevent me from falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
The glue that keeps the pieces together.
Mm-hmm. I want you to ask it, what is your function in my life?
To protect me.
Okay. Okay. And now I want you to ask it, what is your only intention in my life?
So that I'm understood.
Mhm. Okay. Because if you're misunderstood, then what happens?
Then people will not love me.
And if people don't love you, then what happens?
Then I'm all alone.
Okay. Okay. And I want you to ask that part of you, what was going on in my life when you first came into my life? Is anything coming up?
Yes,
Go ahead. Me.
I'm maybe 3 or 4,
Okay.
and I did something my mom didn't want me to do,
Hmm.
and she's pretending to cry. She has both her hands in front of her face,
Hmm.
and she's crying because I'm such a bad child. So that makes me want to justify myself.
Mhm.
to make her stop crying.
Okay. And you want her to stop crying because?
So I don't want her to feel sad.
Because if she's sad, then?
Then that's my fault.
Okay. What did that cause you to believe about yourself, the world, or other people when this happened at 3 or 4 years old? What's the belief that was formed?
That my actions make people sad.
And so therefore you developed this part of you that needs to over-explain and make sure that people really understand your intentions and your actions, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Nikki, I wanna ask you, how do you feel about this part of you or this over-explaining in your life now? Is it working for you in your life right now as an adult?
No, it's not.
Why is it not working?
Because if I over explain myself, people lose the plot of the story and they can't really keep up with what I'm saying. And it only makes things more confusing.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. So do you see how at a certain point in your life, as a brilliant little girl, you created this part of you to over-explain, to keep you safe, to keep you loved, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how now, as you've gone throughout the years, right, it's not really working for you in the same way anymore because it sounds like if you over-explain, people understand you even less, right? So it worked for a while, right? It made you
Mm-hmm.
feel safe to do the over-explaining, but it's not really working for you anymore, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to ask you, are you ready to release the over-explaining from your life?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to tune into where you carry that part. Is that part of you ready to go?
Yes.
Okay. I'm wondering if we could give it a different role because I know it's been protecting you for a really long time. So, would it be okay for us to give it a different role in your life?
Yes.
What do you think would be more helpful, a more helpful role that this part could take on? Instead of over explaining, it could do what?
Maybe it could help me reflect
Okay. And how does that help you?
so I can understand myself better.
Right. Okay. I want you to ask that part of you, how does it feel about taking on this new role of reflecting rather than over explaining?
Hard to let go, but I think it would fit me better right now.
Okay. Yeah. I want you to ask that part of you, is there anything it needs from you in order to feel safe enough to take on this new role?
Yes, to feel more secure and grounded.
Okay. Well, why don't we show this part of you how you're different now than when you were 3 or 4 years old? Can you tell me and this part, how are you different now as an adult than when you were 3 or 4 years old?
I can take care of myself now.
How else are you different?
I don't need to rely on anyone anymore.
Or at least in the same way. It's always good to rely on people in certain ways, but you don't have to rely on people in the same way, right? As a child, you needed to rely on people for food and shelter and all of that, right? You don't have to do that anymore, right?
I don't need to, but I might still want to.
Exactly, right? So it's a want rather than a need, right?
Mhm.
Which is a very different place to be, a much more empowering place to be because you get to choose who you rely on, right?
Mhm.
You get to determine who's a safe person to rely on. Versus when you were a child, you had no choice. You needed to rely on your parents, right?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to just tune into that part and see now, how does it feel about taking on this new role of reflecting rather than over explaining?
Feels like a better fit for me now.
Okay, wonderful. All right. Is there anything else that you want to say to this part of you?
Thank you for trying to protect me and keeping me safe. But I don't need you anymore.
Yeah, I don't need you in the same way anymore, right? I'm giving you
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving you a new role. You don't have to leave me, but you just get to take on a new job in my life.
Yes. A new identity.
Yes. Okay. Anything else the part wants you to know?
That I have everything I need inside me.
That's so beautiful. Okay. I want you to go ahead and take a deep breath in. I want you to just notice if your stomach area where you were holding that part, if it feels any different now. Does it feel any different?
Yeah, it feels warmer and more relaxed.
So good. Yeah, that's that part really integrating into your life in a new way. It's taking on that new role already. You can feel it transforming within you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, Nikki, I want you to just go ahead, call to mind a vision of you of at 3 or 4 years old. And you can tell me whenever when you see her.
Yes.
And now I want you to just imagine yourself as the adult that you are now. There's 3 or 4 year old you. She's created this part because she feels like she has to justify herself, and it's the only way to keep herself safe. I want you to imagine yourself stepping into where she is, and I want you to go over to her and I want you to tell her either out loud or in your mind anything and everything that she needs to hear. What does she need to know from you?
It's okay. You're okay.
Anything else?
You don't have to be afraid anymore.
Anything else?
You're worthy of being loved.
Yeah. Okay. And now I want you to picture that small child, the younger you, hovering just above your head. See them now slowly descending down, dropping down, merging into your body, merging into your heart, merging into your life now. You feel that child fully merged within you now. They are never ever going back because the child, the little you, is now taking up residence in you as an adult. They are free now. They've had a massive upgrade into your life. They're releasing that old habit and pattern of over explaining and instead picking up this new habit of reflecting so you can understand yourself better because it always starts with us. And you are free now, Nikki, to be the person, the adult that you choose to be. Go ahead and take a deep breath in as you feel that child fully merging within you now. She's safe now within you, taking on this new role. And now, as you are seeing this, feeling this, believing this, feeling wonderful, amazing, and free, I'm going to count you back to full awareness. With each number, you will become more aware of your surroundings, bringing this feeling back to the room. So, on the count of one, you're becoming more aware. On the count of two, you're aware of the room and the sounds around you. On the count of 3 and 4, you're taking in a deep breath. And on the count of 5, whenever you feel ready, you can open your eyes and come back to the room. Hi,
Hi.
how was that for you?
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Anything stand out to you? Anything surprise you?
Yeah, my body felt really heavy when I was doing this. So Like I couldn't move.
Okay.
Very surprising,
Okay.
strange sensation.
Great. How do you feel now?
Yeah, I feel good. I feel very relaxed.
Okay. Good. Good. Well, I hope that you feel a little bit lighter, a little bit freer. I hope that that part feels a little more integrated in a healthy way in your
Mm-hmm.
life so you can reflect instead of feeling like you need to over explain in that urgency. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for trusting me to guide you through this process.
Yeah, I think it was very helpful. So thank you so much
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
giving me this opportunity.
Wonderful. I will check in with you in a couple days to see how you're feeling. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Take care.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye.
You're welcome. Bye. A huge thank you to Nikki for her openness and honesty in allowing us to witness this process. Patterns like over explaining often look small on the surface, but underneath them is a lifetime of survival. In this session, Nikki met the exact part of her that's been carrying that responsibility since childhood, the part that believed she had to explain herself to prevent pain. And as you heard, when she gave that part a new role, something shifted. The urgency softened, the burden loosened. It's a reminder that healing doesn't always require doing more. Sometimes it just requires acknowledging the younger versions of you who never felt safe enough to rest. As you close out this episode, take a moment to reflect. Where do you still feel responsible for preventing someone else's disappointment? What part of you believes that being misunderstood puts you at risk? And who might you become if you didn't have to over explain yourself to feel loved or safe? If this conversation resonated, I'd love to hear what surfaced for you. Feel free to reach out to me on Instagram or Facebook and let me know. And if you're ready to explore your own subconscious patterns around safety, self trust, and emotional freedom, you can learn more and book a connection call at shiftyourstorypodcast.com. I'm sending you so much love and gratitude. Until next time. Bye. Thank you so much for joining us today for this episode of the Shift Your Story, Change Your Life podcast. If today's conversation sparked something in you, I'd love to hear about it. Feel free to send me a message on social media. I'm at the Allie Rose on both Facebook and Instagram. And if you want to be coached on a future episode or explore what it would look like to work with me one-on-one, head over to shiftyourstorypodcast.com. And if you never want to miss an episode, make sure to subscribe and leave a rating and review. It helps more people find this work. Until next time, keep shifting, keep growing, and most importantly, I want you to remember that your story isn't set in stone. You always have the power to shift it.